right, look, guys, you gotta hear me out. And of course, this is a hot topic. Believe it or not, this is a hot topic. How do you find your groove? A lot of pet hustlers and dress hustlers and side hustlers struggle with finding their groove. Uh, One of the primary reasons is because they don't feel like they're strong enough in their uh, in whatever it is that they're trying to pitch. They feel like they gotta do more, and the problem is, in the world of AI, you could literally feel that way to infinity. So at some point, you just have to stop and kind of ground yourself to a particular identity and double down on that identity, and then you will be able to find your groove. So this is a very dangerous topic, guys. um, a lot of pet hustlers, threats hustlers struggle to identify uh, the criteria for their, you know, for their niche, for their brand, and constantly feel like a process prisoner. And the reason behind that is because um, they're seeing other people and they feel like they got to do better than other people. And as a result, many threats hustlers and side hustlers and pet hustlers end up chasing that never ending loop. As a result, they never find their groove. Now, this is what worked for me as a person, not as a talent agency, but as a person, but also as a talent agency too. But just I wanted to kind of express my point of view. So, once again, guys, this is a hot topic. A lot of pet hustlers, threads hustlers, side hustlers struggle big time trying to find their groove, and constantly end up kind of pivoting back and forth between their central identity and alternative identity that they end up creating by watching lots of TikTok gurus. So once again, guys, a lot of threads hustlers, side hustlers, and pet hustlers struggle with identifying their identity, which results in not being able to finally get in your groove, and results in working extra harder, results in not necessary, like, just results in overall stress. So if you guys want to remove that out of the way and lift this feeling away, remove that out of yourself, this is what's going to work for you. This is 100% worked for me, guys. 100%. But it took me at least 2 years to figure this out. But it worked, and oh my God, I just wish I knew this sooner. I didn't really think how powerful it's gonna be until I actually started doing this and finally finding my groove. So this is why you're here. This is why you're listening. You want to know how to find that groove. How do you feel comfortable in doing what you do without feeling like a salesy or sleazy, or there's many feelings to that. And the best thing that I could tell you guys, do this: pause, talk slow, and tell your story about whatever it is that you're doing. Now, I'm gonna show you how this works in practice. I experimented with this technique myself on TikTok, It worked like a clock, guys. It was instant. It was just so liberating. It was so easy to do. I didn't even realize how easy it was. So this is what you gotta do. Go on TikTok, talk slow, describe your story, but start repeating the same story 3 times in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, or whenever you can walk like through the city or wherever and just create lives. But the bottom line is it has to be the same story 3 times. Okay, guys? Look, I had over 1,000 people in the morning on TikTok. Over here, I have on YouTube only one watching now. But on TikTok, 1,000 people through morning walk, 1,000 people through afternoon walk, and 1,000 people through evening walk. Now, what did I do so differently? You see, right now, what I'm explaining is not necessarily the most like entertaining part. That's why I don't really have a lot of views. But if it was entertaining the way I would be describing on TikTok, then the retention rate would be a lot bigger than 2 views, guys. But because I want you to succeed, I'm willing to sacrifice the retention rate and just literally give you the tea. So this way you don't struggle and you find the groove. Now, I could be doing precisely the same thing, whatever it is that I was doing on TikTok, and getting in the groove. But once again, I'm willing to sacrifice that just so you could have that problem solved. Okay, guys? This is huge. This is huge. This is not something a lot of people do, guys. They don't just sacrifice their groove to help you guys out, but I'm willing to do that. Okay, so this is how it works. Step number 1, talk slow with pauses. Step number 2, describe the same story 3 times in different parts of the day. Okay? Step 3, introduce quirks, your own personal quirks. Introduce variations. When I say quirks, I'm talking about something unique about you, something funny, something incredible. I'm gonna give you an example, okay? So it registers, so this we see an example, and then you're gonna repeat the same exact thing. And then you're gonna come back to me the next day, and then you're probably gonna cry because it's gonna solve that problem for you of finally finding that groove. Guys, this is so liberating once you find it. This is bigger than anything, bigger than Claudebot, bigger than Threads, Dear Algo algorithm on Threads. It's way bigger than that, guys. Once it's solved, you're gonna have another pathway opened up in your mind. You're gonna finally be like, man, I can finally like apply this skill to sell pretty much anything. So this is why I'm focusing on this and this only, nothing else. So how do you find the groove? I'm gonna go ahead and give you the tea. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the tea. Pay close attention to finding the groove. This is gonna be paramount to your success. Guys, what I'm about to tell you is gonna be paramount to your success. I'm sacrificing my groove in this life, meaning I could be grooving, I could be saying the same exact story that I did on TikTok, or I could be on TikTok and getting those 1,000 views now. But I came back over here on YouTube to give you guys the tea, so this way you no longer feel like a process prisoner. Now, guys, one of the reasons why you are failing is because you're over explaining. Okay, like right now, just think about it. I have 0 views, and yet I continuously going anywhere. Okay, maybe I got 1 view. But notice how I don't add any intonation. I just sound really strict. I don't have any modulation in my voice. I'm just going like sort of like monotonic in a way. This is not the way to do it, but I wanted to do it anyway, so this way you could see the difference and finally discover how to get into that groove. So going back to the groove, I'm going to demonstrate to you how I get into it. Okay, this is how I do it. I just begin with the story, and this is how I modulate my voice. Okay, guys. Once again, this is nobody describes this. I'm gonna go ahead and give you an example. Alrighties, guys. So check this out. Today, you're not gonna believe what happened. Man, I got a mouse problem. Holy smokes, that rodent constantly sneaking into my house. I mean, it's already the third winter. I don't know what to do about it. I asked my wife, sheesh. And, she started talking to ChatGPT, trying to figure out the answer. I mean, nothing worked. We were trying to find a rodent. Nothing worked. We kept trying everything. So guys, notice how I kind of went ahead and I switched into the storytelling mode. I noticed the storytelling mode activates the algorithm, at least on TikTok. On YouTube, of course, if you don't say things like, hey guys, I'm going to explain this strategy for how to get into the groove. If you don't talk like that, then trust me, you're going to be able to get into the groove. Okay. Okay, look, I'm going to give you an example. So check this out. I have a problem. There's a little rodent, a mouse, that's sneaking in my house. And for the sake of it, I cannot figure it out. Me and my wife cannot figure this out. How to get rid of this mouse problem. I tried everything. I mean, I watched a bunch of TikTokers on having a smoke machine. Supposedly you could smoke them out. Come on. I can't be playing around with smoke. I don't want to set the whole house on fire. Notice how what I just described to you. Believe it or not, this level of intonation that I just introduced while describing the opening statement of this mouse problem, all of a sudden it kind of got you listening. But guess what? Before I talked about that, nobody was listening. It was just 0 views, 1 view maybe. Well, on TikTok, I managed to generate thousands of views just with the same story, talking about the same mouse problem. Now, guys, look, at the end of the day, people cannot relate to some, I don't know, AI slop or something like this unless you introduce a story. Now, look, I don't want to sound smart. I could just describe to you the story and you're going to see how the groove out of a sudden, like we could literally perform an experiment where you see right now there's 1 view, and as soon as I start describing the story, it's going to start elevating. It's going to start increasing. Now, look, but because I have 0 views, like it's very important right now, guys, for you to understand that when you create content, you want to be you are being an observer, you're being observed, and you're being an agent all at the same time when you're creating a story. To get into that groove, you have to combine all of those elements together. Being observer, being observed, and an agent all at the same time, guys. Once you become observer, being observed, and an agent, then it's going to be smooth sailing. You're going to find that groove. So check this out. I'm going to give you an example. So guys, look, I have a mouse problem. A mouse, it's sneaking in my house. And I'm like, man, I got to do something about it. It's just no matter what I do, the mouse still, I don't know, lingering around. I got to do something about it. Like start off like this. This is how you want to open up opening statement, guys. So, and that's it, guys. Focus on your opening statement. Focus on the story. And believe it or not, it's going to work. Introduce intonation, introduce variations, introduce combinations, introduce veracity, velocity, and there's another V. There's like triple V. Velocity, veracity, and velocity, veracity. I'm trying to remember the third V. There was 3 V's, guys. Try to remind me. What was the third V? First one is velocity. The second one is veracity. And what was the third one? There was something about the third one. Anyway, guys, I gotta get going. Think about it. There's triple V. Solution to this problem is to find those triple V's and apply them to your story. All right, I'm gonna get going, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.